So, is it possible to go for the mind to go beyond reaction? That's the next step, obviously.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
As we said yesterday morning in our discussion with the group, one gets irritated, and that's first reaction. Then the reaction to that, second reaction to that, I must not. Then the third reaction I must control or justify or whatever it is. So it's constantly action and reaction. Can one see it's a movement, a continuous movement without an ending?
Yes, although, you see, let me say what it looks like. The reaction actually is continuous.
Yes.
But it seems at a certain moment to have ended, and the next moment appears to be a new moment. You see,
but it's still reaction.
It's still the same, but it presents itself
of course
as
it
different.
That's right.
That it's always the same, though it's
exactly
always,
the same always.
But it presents itself as always different, right?
Of course.
Always
but
new, right?
That's just it. You say something, I get irritated.
Yeah.
But that irritation is a reaction.
Yes, it seems to be something suddenly new.
Suddenly new, but it's not.
It's not. But one has to see one has to be aware of that, you see.
Of course.
But generally the mind tends to be not aware of it, right?
But after discussing a great deal and talking, one can...
We are attentive to it, right?
Yeah, we're sensitive and alert to the question. So there is an ending to reaction. If one is watchful, attentive, understand not only logically, have an insight into this reacting process all the time, it can, of course, come to an end. That's why it's very important, I think, to understand this.
Yes.
Before we discuss what is an empty mind, if there is something beyond, or in that very empty mind, there is some other quality.
Yeah.
So is that empty mind a reaction? You follow, sir?
Yeah.
Reaction to the problems of pain and pleasure and suffering, and reaction to that is to escape from all this into some state of nothingness.
Yes, well, the mind can always do that. It can become
invent.
It can fail to notice pain and pleasure.
Of course. So that becomes an illusion. Now, we are not talking, because we went into the question of illusions and said desire is the beginning of illusion.
Yeah.
Now, we have come to the point that this quality of emptiness is not a reaction. That must be absolutely sure. Right, sir?
Yes.
Now, before we go further into it, is that possible to have a mind that is really completely empty of all the things that thought has put together?
Yes, well, when thought ceases to react.
That's it.
Yes, now, the mind being material, the thought being a material process, so on one hand you could say perhaps the reaction is due to the nature of matter, which is continually reacting and moving. But then how does matter, is matter affected by this insight?
I don't quite follow. I understand. Does insight affect the cells of the brain which contain the memories?
Yes, the memories are continually reacting and moving, just as the air and the water, everything around us. And
of course.
Now, if nothing happened, we should say, why would that ever stop?
Quite. After all, sir, physically, if I don't react, I'm paralyzed.
Yeah.
One is paralyzed. But to be reacting continuously is also a form of paralysis.
Yes, well, the wrong kind of reaction.
Yeah.
The reaction around the psychological
Psychological.
structure.
We're
right?
talking of psychology,
Yeah.
always.
So, but now, assuming that the reaction around the psychological structure has begun in mankind, why should it ever stop? You see, because one reaction makes another. So
It's
you would
like a
expect,
chain,
you would
endless
expect it to go on forever unless
Yes.
something will stop it, right?
Nothing will stop it.
Right.
Only the insight into the nature of reaction ends psychological reaction.
Yes, but then you're saying that matter is affected by what is
Insight.
beyond, by insight, which is beyond
That's
matter, right?
beyond matter. That's what we
Yeah.
discussed this matter also in Ojai.
Yes.